What's cracking? What's cracking? What's cracking?
Look who's back.
Oh man, I'm back. Let's go. You know? Hold on. Let me get a drink here. What's going on, man? We're gonna get started early, man. My name is LeBron J. Coming out of South Georgia, North Florida.
Oh man. William A. Thomas up in the upper east corner of Pittsburgh, Steel City.
That's right. That's right, man. Before we get into it, man, how was your weekend, man? How was the week?
Man, week wasn't nothing but a bunch of storms. I thought God was mad at us up here,
Mm,
left and right.
yeah.
You hear the thunder and all that. I thought there was some fights going on, like
Was
Titan.
that the day?
No, just over the weekend and most of the days. It just rained today.
Mm. I'm so confident down here now since I've been here for a while. Man, we had a tropical storm come through here. Man, I was just chilling. Actually, I was driving in it. Like what? Couldn't do that 5 years ago. You know.
Oh
But
man. Yeah, I remember when that one storm came and y'all were on the highway, huh?
oh man, I'm telling you, man, it was an epic day. They call me the storm tracker when I'm down here, right? Yeah, so I stayed up all night, man. It was coming through Panama City, and it was coming directly towards us. And so I'm like, I ain't going to sleep, man. You would not take me out in the middle of the night.
Mm.
No, 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 no. So I'm up in the window like Malcolm X with this storm, you know. And but anyway, I checked the news. It was like 5 in the morning, and it was a category 3 when I went to sleep. Man, that thing went to a category 5. I woke everybody up like, let's get out ASAP.
Mm.
So it came through here, man. It tore everything up. It ain't tear up stuff down here, because once it hit land, it slows down. But I didn't, I got kids, man. I ain't trying to be hot down south when the power go out. You know what I mean? I didn't been lazy. I didn't get a generator yet. I didn't get a generator yet. But yeah, man, I was in Atlanta chilling for 7 days, and we just decided to come back down. And as soon as we came down, the lights was on. I was like, yeah.
So it's
Shout out to electricity. What'd you say?
not my fault. The cheeks was clapping, but I said it's a whole different ball game down there. That power go out up here. For those who aren't up in Pittsburgh, when the power goes out, that's when everybody's on the porch talking to their neighbor, getting in people's business. People ain't talk to each other ever, but all of a sudden they all on the porch because it's still hot in the house. But you said it's a different type of hot down there, huh?
We run in the house to keep out the heat, man. It's hot.
Man,
Let me say it again. It's hot. You know. But
you mute.
I don't know. I'm having technical difficulties down this mug, man. But anyway, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
I don't know what was that. That's the second time it happened. Shout out to Jay. What's going on? Yeah, man. So yeah, I'm down here, man, and it was my in laws drove him to the airport. It was raining like a mug in this tropical storm, but it was cool. I wasn't scared of it. A couple trees down in Tallahassee. That's where we had to go, but I'm here, man. I'm here now, man. Oh, and who, man, had the week off, man. It was amazing. So, yes, I went to Destin with the wifey. Got a chance to chill. Got a chance to relax.
Mm.
One day I just did nothing, just nothing. You know, I ain't had one of them days in a long time. I know you want one of them days.
I don't know what I would do with it. First off, someone would have to just take my phone. My wife would have to. I keep looking left. He probably over there looking like yeah,
Mm.
that phone. You always on it. Swanee G in the building.
What up, Swanee?
Oh man, I'm gonna talk about Swanee in a second, but yeah, that would really be difficult because I'm so used to doing things all
Mm-hmm.
on the phone, sitting there, trying to do things for work or for business. So
Mm-hmm.
it's hard.
Yeah, my wife tried to get me to parasail. I said,
You didn't do it?
nah. Yeah. Okay.
Come on, man. Don't believe the myth. Don't
I
believe.
don't think I saw. I was standing there for a while. I didn't see a black person do it.
Come on, man. We gotta get in there. You know they got a black Superman out.
Did you see that video? Maybe I posted. Somebody was parasailing, and that cord snapped, and she was just gone somewhere.
Mm.
I'm good. But anyway, so she was what does she do? She was what do you call that? Going across with the line. I forgot what she was doing, but she was up in there. I was watching. I recorded it. Shout out to Sharonda Simone. You can check her out. She got her YouTube page popping. But we had a good time, man. I would definitely, if you haven't, definitely go down to Destin. Now there were people out there like COVID didn't exist. I tell you that, man. I was in the little restaurant, man. Let me tell you, some dude sneezed. I told my wife, I was like, get out of here now. Save yourself. Because I had to pay for the bill. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, you should have just left out.
I was about to leave her, but I was like, look, I'll take it. And I put my mask right on it in his face too. Like I ain't getting them particles in my throat.
It should have been like COVID. I'm out of here. Feel me
I
like
was out, man. Speaking of COVID, man, what's going on in New York, man?
oh man, it's like they locking everything down. They said you got to have the passport to be able to get in.
Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. How do you feel about that?
Well, here's the thing. The business owners, of course, I believe they should have the right to do that. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't see why the government would want to get involved in forcing someone to choose, make a health choice.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my thought in regards to it. But you know, you also got a choice. Don't live in New York. I know I wouldn't.
Oh yeah, facts. Well, yeah, yeah. So give me a second here. So I want to ask the people, man. After we get our little rant on like we usually do, can you hear me? Okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Is it bad? Because the way you said it is like sound bad.
I may sound like you bathroom talking to us, but
Ah, that's not good, man. I'm gonna have to do something about it. But can you hear me though? Because like
yeah, I
we
can hear
might
you clear.
we
So,
might have to cut this up, and then I want to make sure you can hear me.
oh
All
yeah.
right.
Well, while you dealing with that, let me tell you about Swanee G.
Mhm.
My man came through like the old Robin. Well, not the old Robin. He came through like Nightwing.
Don't say Robin, man. One of them gay, ain't it?
Uh,
Can you pick another sidekick, bro?
well, oh, that's the other Robin. That's Tim
Hey,
Drake or whatever. But
hey,
yeah. So not not saying anything about you, Swanee. But
Swanee's no sidekick, man.
oh nah, he Nightwing. Nightwing is a partner. That's the thing.
Okay.
Nightwing, he got that blue suit with the black when he
Mm-hmm.
fight.
Mm.
So, but yeah, Swanee was over there holding it down,
Man,
asking questions. They was loving him.
appreciate him, man. Definitely came through. Appreciate you. So back on this passport, what I want to ask is the COVID passport racist? You know, we have to think about that, right? Because as we know with the facts, uh, there's only 25% of New Yorkers that's black that have the passport. I mean, they have the shot. So, and what did what's his name? De Blasio, the mayor out there.
Right.
He's out there saying you can't come into these restaurants and enjoy your life unless you have this passport. Now, it's interesting, man, because I was trying to go to Hawaii and this trip got messed up. My one buddy got married out there, and I could not go out there because you have to have the vaccine shot, or you have to take the test at any particular area on their list. And I know a few people that went to the wedding that almost got stuck out there, at least for that period of time where they want you to quarantine. You know, um, so that's my question. One of my questions is it a racial thing? You know, what's your thoughts on it?
Well, what we got to do is we have to look at the logic of it. So let's go back a couple of years and let's talk about voting. I know we're talking about the the vax, but the thing that was fed to the black community over and over is that you guys are not either smart enough, rich enough, or have the resources to be able to get an identification. That's what's fed to the black community for years. And it was done under the auspice of saying that if you don't agree with that, you're racist, which I just think it's funny because it's like you can make people feel like the other people are racist by having a racist mindset. It's the it's the short expectations, the small expectations type thing, the soft bigotry. So
Hmm.
go forward to the vaccines, and they start talking about you know we want everybody to have it. Well, question is, number one, is it going to affect, are those people all of a sudden unable to get it? Number two, is it going to be targeted towards them because they're unwilling to get it? Because as we know, the US government has had a history with black people in medicine, right?
Absolutely. And I just want to say, is this America? Because at one point we had an option, a choice. The choice is going away. And if and like I like to say is, anytime you give the government power, they'll never give it back. So if they can pull this off, then what else is they going to do? I know a few people who was against taking the vaccine. Um, they never want to talk about any type of accountability, when it comes to that, because uh, there's certain measures that you can take to, because I heard somebody say the other day is they was like, my immune system is my vaccine, you know. So there's certain measures that we can take, and my thing is, if you decide that you don't want to take it, it's just your choice. You know what I mean? So, but one
And,
thing I'll go ahead.
my fault. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I
Okay.
don't know.
And for everyone who's watching, here's what I want you to do. Okay. Go on to Google, and in your Google search, I want you to put 78% of. Just put 78, the percentage sign of OF, and then just hit enter and see what comes up. Now, I'm gonna give you guys a couple of seconds to actually look that up because you're going to actually be surprised, or you might not be surprised. But here's what it's saying, okay? This is the CDC study. This isn't the William A. Thomas study. 78% of the people who were hospitalized or needed a ventilator or died from COVID have been overweight or obese. So that's called a clue there. We're we're talking about something that has to do a lot with health. Yes, it's killing people. Yes, there have been some exceptions, some people who may have seemingly had nothing wrong, but come on, 78%, that's what, 3 out of 4? That's the majority.
Right, right. And yeah, that's huge. And what I heard, I might try to pull it up. That they're saying this might be a seasonal test that you have to continue to take. You know what I mean? First, I mean, we getting so much bad information, and this is just not me saying this. This is what they're bringing out. Like the first time when Fauci came out, he said, what did he say? He said we didn't have to wear a mask. You know, he said it didn't matter. You know, it's basically it's on you, but the mask wasn't really effective. Then he said put the mask on. Then they said, everybody, look, we gonna everybody's gonna get the vaccine, and we'll be able to stop these shutdowns. So the people who got it, they're out here thinking they're yay, we're free. They're the ones who is spreading this virus. And so what is it? And that's my question. They don't know what they're doing. Now, like I always say, intellectuals is always the one ruining this country because they never get called out on the mistakes that they make. You know, so and for them to do that, that's just nothing but control. And we have to worry about that just because there's some people, you know, on here who may took it, you know, took the vaccine and what have you, and they're like, well, I want everybody to take the vaccine. Just take it. You're not a scientist, but you have to worry about what they control. You get what I'm saying? So you're not focused on this situation because you want everybody to take it because you took it. But there's going to be a situation where you don't want to do something and they're going to force you to do it and you're not going to like it. Like the government is supposed to work for the American people. We are the people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just not the case because the media is just showing fear, fear, fear. So where you're at a point where you're like, well, you need to protect us on this stuff, and that's just like we have to kind of wake up, man. You know, we're the people. We need to take care of our families, and you can't allow the government to force you to do certain things. You
Well,
know,
imagine, for years, we've always been looking at China, and they've always had restrictions on how many children that could be had and what type of children. You had to be in a special situation to be able to have a girl. And
hmm
you couldn't, for some time, there was a limit on how many children you could actually have. So imagine if we did that over in America and they said, okay, um, you know, this either everyone, there are too many kids being born or whatever. So what we're going to do is we're going to just take precautionary steps and we're going to sterilize everyone. And
hmm
or we're going to just tie tubes. And then at the time, you know, you want to have a child, we'll untie them as long as you get the proper certifications or you show that you have the card showing that you were had your tubes tied. And if you have a baby outside of our guidelines, we're going to fine you. You know that's basically where we can end up possibly being. So like you said, Ron, we got to watch how much power we actually give to the government because
hmm
absolute power, correct, absolutely, and you don't want to give them absolute power.
absolutely. And when you talk about that, like when you're talking about China, a lot of our leaders but into these they go right into these countries and try to teach them about the western way of living, right? So I want to ask this question: whose fault is it with this Taliban situation? You know, we've been in there for 20 years. We always butt in and get into people's business. You got to ask yourself, what were we over there for? Why were we there? Why were we there that long? And you know, when you look at Biden, he looked like he's on his way out. Like he don't even stay in the White House. I don't know if you know that. He goes home to Delaware. I think, in my opinion, I think they're going to use the 25th Amendment and get um, Kamala in there. I think she's going to get in there pretty early. And
We're watching a live version of Weekend at Bernie.
absolutely,
There are people.
he looks disheveled. He don't know what's going on. And it's funny because back in the Reagan era, I believe, in my belief, I believe that Reagan had Alzheimer's in the beginning of his second term. If you watch the debate, just go back and watch the debate. He was always the master of words, master communicator. He had a little reputation. Well, during the second debate for the second term, he was forgetting everything. And that's when he came out with that famous line after I think it's the third debate, when he was like, they asked him about how old he was and his cognitive abilities. And he said, he said a funny joke to his competitor, basically saying, I think he said, I don't want you to talk about my young man's inexperience or something like that. And it erupted in there. But rumor has it, most of the time he was asleep at home or watching like Gunsmoke or something like that, and Bush was running the country. You know, and this is what I feel like right now. Right now, Joe Biden went in there for a purpose. This is just my opinion. Hunter Biden, he have all these, you know, he should be allegedly in jail for the stuff that he's doing that they saw on the emails. And I believe, in my opinion, I think he got in there to save the Biden family. You know what I mean? And I think he's going to step down eventually. I really do. It may not, but you know they're trying to. He can't do 2 terms. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and it's scary because if we think of everything on, I don't usually like to get into criticizing administrations unless it's like really warranted.
Mm-hmm.
We've sat here and watched on the last 6+ months.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's just kind of going haywire. Um, Cost of everything's up, whole lot higher. Gas is up. We had a what was that? A hacking of one of the big oil pipelines.
Mm-hmm.
In the midst of a border crisis. You know, they're over there thinking this administration's weak. The Taliban's thinking this administration's weak. Did
Mm-hmm.
you see that they posted on their Twitter a picture of them with ice cream cones.
I saw that.
Um, President Biden's soft. I think they're trying to say soft serve.
Right. Right. Absolutely. And it's interesting because like when this happened with Carter, you remember the hostage situation? I think you alluded to. They had those hostages, and soon as Reagan got in office, he was walking down waving, and they got rid of those hostages because people want to call American bullies. Did you see what just happened in Afghanistan? You need a strong military. People need to be scared of you, bro. They have to be. I'm not saying America is great. I mean, like, do everything right, but people are falling off that plane trying to get here. That should be saying something. You know what I mean? But they just see that this dude is weak. Now, when we talk about this Taliban Afghanistan situation, now, in my opinion, I feel like we should not have been there. We should not have been there, right? They're over there trying to push their Western values on them. Like in their college, they have gender studies. You're not going to change the way they think. You know what I mean? So we just should not have been over there. A lot of our soldiers were dying. Now, this is one of the biggest mistakes. He can blame Trump all he wants to, but he has the power now. He obviously Trump had a plan and you didn't do it. Why would you take out the troops before you take out the American citizens that's there. They can't fend for themselves. You can. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why would you leave before you get on? So now, and then we're going to probably try to, if you can find the video. If not, it's all good. But the Biden administration was saying this was a couple months ago that someone asked him. They said, "Don't you think the Taliban is going to take over the country when you leave?" And he was like, "No, we trained them. We gave them 300,000, troops. They have air. We have all this stuff over there, so they're fine, right?" And then you leave without the American citizens, and they take it over in like hours. So there's a video where they're talking about this on YouTube. And then now you look like a bonehead. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we don't belong there, but you're still the leader. And we all know why. I mean, in my opinion, I know why they're over there, because of the opium, the opioids, the heroin. Now, also find the video when Geraldo was he went over there and he was watching American troops protecting the heroin. It's the drug trade. That's why they're over there. And it's just so interesting because Johnson & Johnson, they had a lot of poison in the powder, the fentanyl. You know what I mean? So we know why they were over there. But it's crazy how this dude is leading this country. It's not even been a year yet. So I know there's some people out here who are regretting who they picked.
I wonder. I mean, I know that there are some, but what I'm seeing is there are a lot of people that they are so fixed in their decision that somehow they'll blame the guy who's not even there.
Right. And we know Biden's not running the country right now. It's the people behind the scenes. But here's the thing. They can talk about Trump all they want to. People forget to know that Biden and Obama was in the office for 8 years before, 2000? So they had an opportunity. They had 8 years to get them troops out of there. Is that not true?
Right. And the other end is that we got to look at is you don't leave the American citizens. That's one thing. But on the other end, you don't leave your weapons over there. That's
come on, dog. Come on.
That's just crazy. That's like if someone broke in, and they're chasing you, get guns on the table, and you just run out without the gun. No, you got to grab the gun.
That's worse than that, man. Because I heard they got like aircrafts and stuff. They went into the president's office and there was like hundreds of millions of dollars of American money in there. Isn't that interesting? How did you get that money, Mr. President of Afghanistan?
I have the video up. Let me know when you can see it, right?
Yeah, I can see it.
Larger for everyone. Just listen here. This is only a month ago.
Is the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan now inevitable?
No, it is not. Because you have the Afghan troops have 300,000 well-equipped as any army in the world, and an air force against something like 75,000 Taliban. It is not inevitable.
You hear that?
I heard it.
He said there's 300,000 troops, 75,000 Taliban. Let's go a little bit further.
You trust the Taliban, Mr. President? You trust the Taliban, sir?
Is that a serious question?
It's absolutely a serious question. You trust the Taliban?
No, I do not.
The country to the Taliban.
No, I do not trust the Taliban.
So why are you going to take the oath?
Is the U.S. responsible for the death that happened in Afghanistan?
What? Mr. President, will you amplify that question, please? Will you amplify your answer, please, why you don't trust the Taliban?
It's a silly question. Do I trust the Taliban? No. But I trust the capacity of the Afghan military.
Okay, so let's talk about that real quick, okay?
Mhm.
We're talking about, he say he doesn't trust the Taliban, and he does trust the Afghan military.
Mhm.
Can they rely on us? Because if you guys remember, initially the date that was set, you remember they said they're going to withdraw on September 11th.
Mhm.
I don't know why. I don't know why you want to have some sort of symbolism. I don't even know if that's sending the right message. You know, it doesn't
Right.
make sense.
Right.
But to come and in the middle of the night, say on a what was this? 2 days ago, 3 days ago, like, we changed our mind. We're going to just do it early. You know, that's like I mean it's a whole lot worse of a situation. But just to put it on the smaller level, think about when someone just calls off of work at the last minute. Now, anyone who's been a manager, you might go crazy over that. So imagine this is a country, 40 million people in Afghanistan, 40 million.
Mhm.
And they have this army, and they're just taken off guard because
Right.
the fact of the matter is that it doesn't matter what the numbers are. If you can catch your enemy by surprise, then you can end up, having a victory. Russia has tried to go into Afghanistan, and they failed because and Russia had a pretty decent army. The U.S.
Mhm.
They knew what they were doing, but when people are positioned in those caves and different things like that, there's nothing you can really do. So they had the element of surprise. I'm just wondering if maybe the U.S. let them know first. I don't know.
Now, I will say this. I don't feel sorry for them in a sense, and this is what I say about it. Come on, man. You gotta fight for your country, even if it's risk death. Because if the Taliban take, you allow them to take your daughter and your wives, you know how they are. You know what I mean? I'm gonna play this video real quick, and what we're gonna play. We're gonna put for anybody who wanna voice their opinion. We're gonna put it in the comments in a little bit. Just give us a second. We just like to get our groove and everything, but you know how they are, right? I'm gonna play this clip that CNN put out. It's really interesting what's about to happen to them. So the Afghanistan men should have fought for their country and stopped hanging off planes. Your family's there, bruh. You know what I mean? Like, you got to protect the women and the children. So, give me a second. I'm going to try to play this video real quick. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna play it off of Instagram because I don't want to strike or nothing on for us. Give me a second. All right, let me. Can you see it? Okay.
Smiling and victorious, they took the city of 6 million. As soon as we leave our compound, it's clear who is now in charge. Taliban fighters have flooded the capital. Smiling and victorious, they took the city of 6 million people in a matter of hours, barely firing a shot.
This is a sight I honestly thought I would never see. Scores of Taliban fighters, and just behind us, the U.S. Embassy compound.
Some carry American weapons. They tell us they're here to maintain law and order. Everything is under control. Everything will be fine, the commander says. Nobody should worry.
What's your message to America right now?
America already spent enough time in Afghanistan. They need to leave, he tells us. They already lost lots of lives and lots of money. People come up to them to pose for photographs.
They're just chanting death to America, but they seem friendly at the same time. It's utterly bizarre.
At the presidential palace, the Taliban are now guarding the gate. They say they're here to fill the vacuum left when the government fled. But the welcoming spirit only extends so far, and my presence soon creates tension.
They've just told me to stand to the side because I'm a woman.
As soon as we leave our compound, it's clear.
Yeah. You see that last part? Not funny, but you see that? You're a woman.
He didn't sound too happy. Yoko Yukio said, shared a quote, says, in a free society, the state does not administer the affairs of men. It administers justice among men who conduct their own affairs. Walter Lippmann.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Supposed to be that way.
Right. Real quick too, because we're about to put the link down there. See if you what you have to say. I'm gonna post this as well. The squad has planned to try to cancel rent and the mortgage. What do you think about that? And the people who's on this so-called squad is Ayanna Pressley, the Democrat from Massachusetts. One of them I want to talk about has property, and I believe she grossed about $50,000 last year with her rental properties. But she's part of this push to cancel rent. What's that girl? Alexandria Cortez is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I don't want to say my opinion at first, so I'll leave that for the end. But you can let's post. Oh, you already hit of us, yeah. So if you want to talk about the subject, man, just go in the comments, and yeah, you can voice your opinion. But have you followed that? Where they're trying to cancel rent?
Yeah, and you know what? It's so funny because that stuff at the end of the day, when they say cancel rent, are they talking about not ever doing it again, or just telling the landlords like, "Hey, we ain't got it right now. You'll get it when you get it."
You ain't getting it. That's what it is. It's crazy to me, and this is what I will say about it. I'll just say it, my views. So again, if you're still on there, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, share. If you want to chime in, definitely go into the comments section. This is what I'll say about the rent. Everybody out here last year was living it up, living in the vida loca, right? You see these people that would be on the Greyhound bus, getting on these airplanes, fighting in the lobbies because they got a little bit of money. They got all these stimmy checks, just living it up. Have you been on Facebook? Everybody's on vacation now. I'm talking about people who, like I said, the Greyhound riders. You ever been on a Greyhound?
Not in a while.
Greyhound is a little gritty. But anyway.
He said they ain't doing Greyhound. They kind of fly.
They flying. They fighting in the lobby, man. They bringing that hood stuff to the lobby, man. Into the, But anyway, it's just interesting to me, especially like it's like the pot calling the kettle black because these people have a portfolio of homes that they're making all this money from. But it's just like I think it's just irresponsible. You know what I mean? Because you don't have anything in place to protect the people who own the buildings. Because at this time when you're not paying rent, these people are calling and saying, "Yeah, the furnace broke down. Oh, there's a hole in the wall or whatever because the kids is messing up the house and they have no revenue to use to fix the house, and they still have to pay the mortgage every month." You know what I mean?
Yes,
It's irresponsible.
What are we creating here? Is this a society of just dependency, a society of just trying to take things from others? Because at the end of the day, it's not going to be most of the big companies that end up suffering from this. Yeah, they might take a small, hit, but to them, it's the guy, well, we can wait it out. We're going to get them out eventually. But the person that's going to be hurt is those small investors. The person that owns one or two houses, especially the person that has one house.
Trust me, if they do that, they're going to raise that rent so high. Like I always tell you, there's no solutions. It's always just trade-offs. So if they are not allowed to pay the rent, they're just going to raise the rent every month. That's what's going to happen. They're going to get their money, and we're already having this issue with inflation because we keep printing money. The price is going to go up, and guess who's going to suffer? The person who's not making enough money.
Mm-hmm. You know what? Let me see. I see in the queue. I see Jimmy X down there. About to get him on because we talking about money, and he probably itching to talk about it. Talk about it, Jimmy. Talk about that money.
What's going on, y'all?
What's up with you?
Yeah, man. So they just gonna give away free rent, man?
Free rent for everybody, man.
Have you ever known a place that gave away free rent?
I know people that pay $20 for rent.
What's the neighborhood where they pay $20 for rent?
The ghetto. Talking about the ghetto.
So when you give away free rent, you're gonna turn the whole America into a ghetto. That's what you're gonna do. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. You cannot make everybody rich. So what, you just gonna make everybody poor? Because that's what it sounds like you're trying to do to me. I don't like it. I don't like that. I don't like that.
That's what they're working on. That's what they're
Man,
working on.
Such, I'm gonna say something controversial. Ain't no such thing as equality. That ain't real. There's no such thing as equality. Ain't nothing equal. If you work hard and do a good job and make plenty of money, you don't want equality. You want to be paid based on your merit. You want to be rewarded for being the best.
That's right.
And it's a way of thinking that's infecting this nation. That's just, it sickens me. It sickens me. It's reward mediocrity. Just give away free rent. That's the worst thing I ever heard, man.
Hey, man, but people suffering, man. They can't get to work. The COVID's
I
out there,
almost
man.
said something real ugly when you said that, but I ain't gonna say that.
People can't work right now, man.
Someone that
huh?
Ever had hot lunches at school, Jimmy?
Have you ever had hot lunches? Yeah.
Okay.
Why wouldn't I have hot lunch at school?
Well, I mean,
you talking about free lunch?
Yeah.
I ate the lunch. I mean, I had to pay for my lunch at school. It wasn't free. I knew some other kids that had free lunch.
Did they have that free lunch?
So you was privileged then, huh? Why are we even talking to you? You was privileged, man.
No, I wouldn't say I'm privileged, man. I would say that
Hold on. Did you ever have a food stamp, bro?
No.
Multicolored book. Oh man, this dude. Hold on, wait a minute. Put a little pippin in it. You white, man?
No, man. Jimmy X is not white. But let me ask you this: why does the color of Jimmy X matter?
Because I think you trolling.
Why does the color of Jimmy X? Why is that always an issue? Every week I come here, y'all ask me, "Am I white?"
Because you trolling.
Huh?
You know what
Why
trolling
do I
means?
sound white? Do I sound white? Am I saying white things?
I mean, whose baby is that on that? Be real with it. Whose baby?
That baby right there is beautiful, ain't he? Is that not a beautiful baby?
I mean,
That's a good looking baby right there.
Yeah, but we don't know if it's yours.
It might not be mine. I might just have it up to troll y'all, man. I could
That's
be an
what I think. We
infiltrator.
get trolled.
Sit here from the meeting every Thursday night of white men. We say, hey, we got to get on the T&J show. We got to find out what the Negroes doing over there. I'm going to send Jimmy X, my spy, over there. That could be the case.
Hey man, but shout out to white people. White people be on they be having food stamps too. Shout out to them. Hey, did you hear this, Jimmy? And what's your thoughts on this?
Come on.
Do you know that the European race is decreasing in America? What do you think about that?
That's absolutely true.
What do you think about that?
What you mean? That's natural going to happen. That's natural.
Is it a win-win for you?
Is it a win-win? I knew that was going. Listen, and I'm not speaking out against white people, but white people for years, especially white men, was like, stay away from them black men. Leave them black men alone. Get away from that girl. As soon as they stop saying that, now you see what's happening. That's why they were saying that. That's natural.
All right, so what you want to talk about, man? Before we're gonna put you on hold in a minute, but what you want to talk about that topics that we have up there?
Taliban, man. The Taliban, man.
All right, go ahead, shoot. There you go. You got the floor.
I think it's good that we're getting on out of Afghanistan. We've probably been over there too long, man. We need to leave them folks themselves. They done had enough of us, and we done had enough of them.
Keep going. I like where you're going. Go ahead.
And they saying, and they like, oh, we want you out of there. But when the Soviets was in there, you didn't want us out of there. You see what I mean? We came over there and we helped y'all get rid of the Soviets. And yeah, we made some promises and we ain't keep the promises, but the Soviet Union fell, so we ain't have to keep the promises. Okay? And then Osama bin Laden, after he did a dirty deed, knocked down the towers, he ran over there. That's what started us going back over there, because we knew he was over there. That's where we found him.
Allegedly.
So,
hold on, bro. Wait a minute, man, because we're gonna be recording this. You can't be eating chips while you talking, bro.
Okay.
This might go viral. Proceed.
It might go viral. But yeah, a lot of times people speak out against the United States. When the United States go in these places with these folks, they be wanting us to come in there because we giving them things. We giving them guns. We giving them weapons. They may have an enemy that's our enemy. We'll say, we'll help you. You want us to help you? Yeah. Then when they don't need us no more, they get all like that. We want our country back. Okay, when we go, you can have it. Just racket over there. Ain't nothing over there anyway but some heroin, but some dope. You know what I mean? They drop a good set of bombs on the popping field. Ain't gonna be no popping field, so don't worry about it. We out, man. They can have that nasty rock back.
Okay.
That's all I got to say about it. The end.
That we should have pulled out the way that we did.
Well, I'm not a military man, so I don't know. I don't know what it looked like over there. I just have to trust the people in charge of all that. I don't know about military maneuvers. I don't know the situation with the embassy, how citizens are being treated over there, nothing like that. I don't know nothing about that. I think the best way for them to pull on out of that thing is the way they pull it on out of that thing, because I don't know. I'm not informed of all that, so I don't know. But I'm glad we out of there.
All right. Well, we're gonna put you on hold real quick. If you got time, you got time.
I got some time. Take your time. You got plenty of time with me.
All right, give me a second.
All right, bye.
Look, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna let Jimmy X eat those chips. Trying to mess up our videos out here, huh?
Was that when he gets back on, Jimmy? We want to know if that was Uncle P's chips, the rap snack.
If they ain't black chips, you can't talk to us. Got it? What's cracking?
What's going on, fellas?
We out here just talking this crazy stuff out here, man. What's going on in this world right now, man?
Man, listen, y'all started off right, man. This world is getting bad. when you see people flying off planes,
man,
that's bad. It's bad.
It was people in the tire just like dead, just flying all the way to America. Like, you know, they funny. Don't laugh, Swanee. Don't laugh. They was sitting there like the whole way here.
Listen, I don't know if that's. I don't know if that was all planned that way. You bum rush a plane and then you allow them to jump on the wing with no recourse and just fly away.
Man, come on. That was, man, what is going on out here? But yeah, I'm gonna give you the floor. Go ahead. I'm gonna give you the floor. What you want to talk about?
Well, let's talk about whose fault it is. Okay. Now, we got to understand that, they've been over there for years. Okay. So as far as accountability, you got to start with, you ain't got to start with him, but I'm gonna just mention his name. George Bush Sr. And then that goes into, Clinton, and then Bush Jr., and then Obama, and so on and so forth. Now, the Afghanistan's allegedly was the fault for 9/11. Allegedly. Some other sources, some good sources say it was Saudi Arabians. But anyhow, $700 million being spent to uplift their armies, giving them weapons, giving them food, resources, and the whole 9 yards. And we have homelessness in the United States of America.
Facts. That's a whole
$700 million you're giving them. Now, I'm all about helping. It's all good. But we've been spending billions and billions and billions of dollars, and each and every month we give to other countries, and we have homelessness right here in America. Now we talk about, the minimum wage and equality and the struggle we have, just as Americans, not even saying Black Americans, because that's a whole different and separate struggle and conversation. I mean, those resources and money could have been given to us for reparations 2 times over by now, 3 times over. It's just crazy. And now what I hear is Joe Biden wants to put in a plan to give the Afghanistan people $500 million to move to the United States. One of the states was Georgia. Other state was Texas. Another state was Maryland. And there was another one.
Illinois, I heard too.
Okay, now think about those locations. Georgia, probably near Atlanta somewhere. Texas, probably near Houston. Illinois, probably in Chicago. Maryland, probably in PG County. Think about that. Come on now.
And another thing out there. Another thing that I believe that they're doing is they're trying to turn Texas into a Democratic state. That's why they're moving there. They're playing chess moves right now. They're trying to get them in these situations where they can flip these states and they can always keep this power. But continue.
Well, yeah, I think that's part of it too. But at the same time, what were we doing in Afghanistan the whole time? Or did we have people over there? Or are we setting them up to fight against our enemies? Who's our enemies? Is it China? Is it Russia? I don't know. Are we setting up shop over there for that purpose? Everything is just strange to me. You know what I mean? And so I look at it in a different perspective because I'm like, okay, we're over there. We're trying to get out of the Taliban. And you see what just happened. Supposedly, the Taliban just came right in, took right back over in a matter of seconds. Come on now. Were they hiding behind a bush and waiting for them to leave? That doesn't even make no sense. Now they got all the weapons they need. They get ammunition. They got factories. They got buildings, resources, the whole 9 yards. I just don't get that.
Damn. You got to say about that,
So
Mr. Rose? I mean, Mr. Thomas.
So what do you think about you saw the video with them hanging on the planes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, some people would say instead of doing that, they should have turned around and fought or whatever. You know, what do you think about that?
They should have turned around and did what?
Fight.
I don't know about that. I mean, again, the reason it's on the news in the first place is so all the eyes can see what's going on. This is like a movie being played, and the whole world is watching. You know what I mean? Our U.S. Big old plane flying out of Afghanistan. Okay, now we got to save the Afghanis. This is a whole big movie. We're just watching it. That's just silly to me. And now and as you said before, Laurent, that they left the American citizens there and took the troops. I mean, you would think the troops would be the last people to go. I don't understand that logic either.
So
now, go ahead.
Citizens there, take the troops, and leave guns and stuff. Make that make sense.
Well, that was purposely done. Okay, the guns weren't supposed to leave anyway. They delivered guns for years. We know Russia has been helping them for many years, and we know we've been helping them for many years. Now we gave them, and this is just a number they gave us, $700 million over all these years they've been there. Now, who knows how much resources Russia gave them? Now, Afghan is pretty much a baby superpower. We don't know nothing about them really, other than what they tell us, and that's what we need to be aware of. We got to be careful what they tell us because it may not just be true. Just like Bush Jr. Iraq, weapons of mass destruction. We got to go get Saddam Hussein. Come on now, what no weapons of mass destruction in Iraq? Come on now, they wanted that oil, and now in Afghanistan they wanted that heroin. I don't know, man. This doesn't make sense to me, man.
I got it. Can you hang around for a minute? We gotta.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put you on. Give me 1 second. Good stuff, Swan. All right, we're gonna get Keith on.
Hey, can you hear me?
Hey, you're good.
Yeah.
How's everything going?
Oh, I'm thankful. I appreciate you guys for letting me on. I came in the back end of the topics. I think you guys are talking about Afghanistan, free rent, and something else. But one thing, the free rent thing, I don't agree with that. I think that's a huge mistake. I think that will really affect communities and how resources are given out and taken advantage of, and the value of things that is not a good idea. There's so many dynamics that's going on right now in America. People, they say that there's a lack of jobs, but people are actually resigning, and people are actually resigning from their jobs, and people are transitioning to new jobs. But I don't agree with landlords not being paid what they should be paid. I think there should be some type of agreement where the landlords should get their back rent and recoup what's theirs really, because you don't want to give somebody free rent where they can do anything to the property, and then the property value goes down, get all these type of damages. Then people don't want to live there after everything is said and done and destroyed. That's just my opinion. As far as like with the Afghanistan piece, it's just a revolving circle. I think the retail news just wants to sell.
Hold on, Keith. 1 second. I'm glad you touched on that. I want to show a video real quick, and then I want you to respond to it. Give me a second. One moment. Here, let me get that off the screen. All right, here we go. Hold on.
This is definitely all a movie, a big movie.
Absolutely. All right, so yeah. All right, let me know if you can see this. All right, I'm gonna play it.
Geraldo, tell us what you've seen during your days there in Afghanistan.
Hi, Allison, Dave, and Clayton. Yes, in some ways, the Marines' brilliantly executed invasion of Marja, this town in the middle of Helmand province, was the easy part. The hard part now is governing this province, a province, as you suggest, that has become addicted to opium in many, many ways. That is the principal crop that is being grown here. The Taliban lend the farmers the money. They are indebted to the Taliban. They have to grow the opium. Now the Marines, in their success, are in a sense a victim of their success, because now the population is, they have these opium fields and we are tolerating it. We are tolerating the cultivation of the opium because we know that if we were to destroy it now, the population would turn against the Marines and it would be a real security risk. Let me introduce Lieutenant Colonel Brian Christmas. He's the commanding officer of the 3rd Battalion, 6th Marines. Really a wonderful group of Marines here. I know that you care deeply about this contradiction, the fact that here you have one of the best fighting forces in the world ever mounted, and in a sense, you're watching as this opium is being grown. I know it grinds at your gut. How do you deal with it? What are you doing about it?
Well, frankly, this is part of the culture. So while it might grind in my gut, it's what they do. We provide them security, we're providing them resources, and we're providing them alternatives. And the alternatives are different crops to grow. They're getting the seed and the fertilizer to do it. They can rotate any of their crops that they want. If they want to get rid of their wheat and grow cotton for the winter, they can do that, and we're going to help them do it. So the same thing goes for the cotton.
So you think that, we were at the market and everywhere we go, they're selling these little devices. Take a shot at this, Greg. They're hand carved. These are the little devices they use to scrape the opium sap off the plant. And I watched as you bought every one that was for sale because you care so deeply. Why'd you do that?
I want them off the street. The idea is that we don't want to harvest the poppy. We want to, hopefully turn the poppy over and put some wheat, cotton, watermelon, cucumber. That's all great stuff they grow.
All right, Mr. Keith, proceed.
This is just all some like I said, the retail news is going to sell you an idea. That's why I call them retail. They just want to sell you something. That those crops, that opium, they has been there for years, for decades. They had a lot of time to remove and get rid of that type of crop with whatever that soldier was talking about. As far as replacing that crop, it's. I just feel like this is just a big, circle. Them preserving opium, and outside of it, I don't know what is it used to create? Heroin or the addictive drugs?
Yes.
Yeah. Outside of that, why were they preserved in the first place? We know that there's a black market for that, and people are going to take advantage of that. So there's going to be all type of people. I know people are just, people are in the black market just salivate right now because Afghanistan is open, open now, right? So anybody just go in there and make all type of deals. So this is just like, we created some disruption. So, you could go back and say, okay, you need America again, right? You need America to save this country. They've created dependency, and now we're back in this cycle again, right? So I just don't want this thing to eventually these things seep over back into America, especially with drugs, right? But it's just I hope the public is a little more wise to not just accept everything that's sold to them as far as beliefs on the TV screen, right? Because everything is not as it is projected to be. I think I just want the viewer to be able just to have a just be smarter about what you're watching, right? I like what the gentleman said earlier. It's just like a big movie that you and I don't have necessarily any control over at this moment.
Right. So back to the rent thing. So you don't think that the American people need a little help because we've been most states been shut down, and they
I believe in
wasn't able to.
mercy. I believe in mercy. I believe in a little bit of help. Yeah, of course. I do believe in that, but I do know that there are people that take advantage of the system. I wholeheartedly believe that there's people that have resources that can do more. Right. I don't. But I don't believe in absolute where everybody should. Hopefully, I'm taking the topic right. Where everybody gets absolute free rent. That doesn't make any sense to me. Because we don't all want we all want to have a certain lifestyle. We all want to have certain resources. We all pay, we pay taxes, and your taxes are supposed to pay for these resources in your neighborhood, and you want to have a good quality of life. And I don't think that it's fair to have absolute free rent. And I can speak on it where I didn't get. I did, a gentleman you guys were talking to a gentleman about free lunch. I did get free lunch when I was a kid. I did get that, but my mother was able to work out of that situation, right? But the thing is, as far as that type of absolute free rent, nah, man, I can't feel it.
So I don't know how
feel
to.
it.
I don't know
I
how
got a
to.
bias.
I don't know how the process is. But I guess I have to look it up. Maybe the viewers can tell me. But a lot of people, I guess, they weren't paying their rent, and they keep extending the deadline where you can pay your rent. Now, the government is the reason why we shut down. Shouldn't they have any pay for the situation? Because they demanded us to shut down. They shut down the businesses. What do you think about that?
Well, I want to reframe it. The virus was the reason why we shut down, and the government responded to it just for people's safety. But there are people who are taking advantage of what the government was trying to do in terms of keep people safe. But all out free rent, is not the best solution to this situation. I think people have more resiliency than that. If like I said earlier, if people are quitting their jobs and not going back to their jobs, that means they have a choice, right? So they know how to. That tells me that there's access to jobs and therefore access to wages to be able to pay rent, right? So get those landlords what they deserve, because you don't want, like I said, if you give out free, you're not going to value. That's just what it's going to be. That's just what it is. It's not going to end well.
So you're saying
it's not
that
going to end well. I don't.
So are you saying?
Huh?
So you're basically. Are you saying that they should pay for when like they couldn't work during the shutdown and they couldn't pay the rent? So you're saying they have to pay back pay on their rent? You think the rent should go up?
There's got to be some type of on top of paying their rent, some plan where they pay back some of that rent. The landlord has to be able to recoup some monies back, right? Because the landlord has to pay those banks. It's and the banks are in bed with the government. So people, tenants need to pay their landlords, right? The price has to be paid. If they're already paying some form of rent, the landlord has to be able to recoup at least some portion of that back rent. I think that's fair.
Good stuff. You got anything, Will?
I think that's fair.
Yeah, I do. One of the things that I think about is, there are some people who would push for communism, and of course that's more so, nobody owns anything. The state just, and what we can end up seeing is that you don't want that because they're not efficient. They'll mess stuff up, and you may find yourself in a position that you don't want to be in. So that's why it's really important to be able to protect these homeowners, these small businesses, and not leave them out to dry. What do you think about that, Keith?
Hey, I definitely agree with you. The small businesses run America. Right, small businesses, employ a lot of people. So you can't hang them out to dry. They need to be protected. They need to be insulated. We need those businesses to be able to be like the economic cushion for communities. Landlords need to be protected. I'm for the common man as well, but I believe in fair. I believe in fairness. I believe in ownership, and I believe in people, working that job. But small business protectors, small business owners, they have to be protected, right? Because they provide opportunity. And in some places, there's just not a lot of opportunity. So if you eliminate the small business owner, that's a problem. If you don't give them any incentive to put themselves out there, and if you punish them, it's not going. It's just not good for the small business owner or for the employee of that small business owner, right? Because you want to be able to have an economic floor where that the small business owner they're able to pay their taxes and provide those wages for people and provide services and products that can be distributed in their community, right? You don't want to punish them.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was another part that you said to your statement. Other than the small business owner, there, I think I missed something.
Just more so about, it's the government hasn't ever been efficient, with getting people what they need. So you don't want to, because if we end up going down this route, that's where it's going to end up going. The only way that you can end up giving away, like no one pays rent, everyone's going to have to pay in some way.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I couldn't quite hear you, Will, but Mr. Thomas. But personally, I don't want the government doing too much for me, or being all up in my stuff. You don't want what they call it, big government. I don't want the government doing everything for me, because then they control you. And then it becomes dependence, and it's not. I wouldn't want myself and my family and my community, if I'm empowered, to have the government control of how I eat and when I eat and where I live, right?
That's right.
So I'm right there with you.
Okay. Real quick before I let you go, I want to ask you this, see what your thoughts is on it. Mostly African Americans do not do things like the government says, like get vaccines, and there's a lot of reasons why. If we look back at our history, do you think having a COVID passport is racist? Because if you look at New York, 25% of African Americans have took the vaccine, so 75% does not have it. But they're saying that you can't get into stores, restaurants, and enjoy a quality of life if you don't have this passport. What's your thoughts on that?
So passports, we've always had some type of passport in terms of vaccines, in terms of documentation, right? We had those in school. As far as access to the vaccine, that could probably be pushed more within urban or Black communities. As far as the trust, Black people have a reason to not trust the healthcare system because of all the different mishaps not even mishaps, but incidents where Black people were taken advantage of in the healthcare system. So we have a reason to have that hesitancy and tension. It's just really about, showing people more stories and helping them understand that, man, this thing is lethal. You can't take a chance with your life and your family. I'll just speak personally. I didn't want to take this vaccine, but after I've seen so many stories and how it affects different people and how, some people were close to me, some people that were in my proximity, how they got affected. It's just like, nah, I can't take any chances. I'm the breadwinner. So I think every black man and woman better make up their mind and really consider hard if they're going to get that vaccine, even if they have to go through some type of passport. And you say in New York, they need to take that forward. Think about their life. Think about how their life is going. Life is
All right,
going to be
so
impacted for their family.
but what you're saying is it's an option, and you're just trying to encourage people. Should they be forced to take it? That's what we're talking about here.
Ron, I'll be right back. I got to reset this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Should they be forced to take? Really, I wish we weren't at this stage to be to forcing people. But I think we're in a public health crisis right now, where they're really doing this in the best interests of the public. Vaccinating as much people as possible, so it won't spread. Right.
Hold on. I respect what you're saying, but you do know that the people who took the vaccine is spreading the virus. Continue.
The people that are taking the vaccine that are spreading the virus, I wasn't aware of that. But I'm aware that the people that are not taking the vaccine, they're dying at a higher rate.
That's not true. But I hear what you're saying. I respect what you're saying. However, if you listen to the government, because there was a point where they said that the people who took the vaccine, which is 70% of Americans across the board, took the vaccine, and they said they didn't have to wear the mask. And then the CDC changed it because they realized that people were still getting COVID, and there were still people. If you look at the statistics of death, it's less than 1%. You know what I mean? So they're saying now that it may have to be seasonal because the vaccine is not working. But you can look it up before you don't know that information, but you can look it up though. But go ahead, I'm listening.
Yeah, okay. With the vaccine, I think the vaccine is one step of protection, right? Using judgment. If you got the vaccine, still wear your mask, right? Because one, you're still being considerate for yourself and considerate for other people, right? I don't think the vaccine is 99%. It's not 99% protection, right? And I don't think anything is, but it definitely lessens the chances of a person of it being lethal, right? Because this thing, you see reports where somebody's getting it on Monday, testing positive on Monday, and they're passing away on Friday of the same week. And if I could take a vaccine that could at least have the chances or have half my number in chances of it being lethal, why not? Why not? Right? So like I said, I had my reservations. I was trying my best not to take the vaccine. I did not want to take it. I was one of those people just like, man, I ain't doing it. I'm just wait and see, and see what happens. But I think right now it's kind of like that belief of, especially in the Black community, that the vaccine is not good for us. Maybe it's not serving. That belief is not serving us right now. So I think we're dying at faster rates. And if it takes, we're in a public health crisis. So if it takes, hey, you can't come in the store unless you can prove your vaccine. That's a kind of extreme. I don't like it personally, but it may have to be that it may have to be that step that we have to take to get back to a quote unquote normal society. And that's not going to be any time in the next 1 to 2 years. For real. Yeah.
Okay. Definitely respect your opinion. Keith, is there any last things? I got to get to a couple more people, but anything you want to end off with?
Thanks for letting me talk. Appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
Oh man, shout out to Keith, man. Keith, let me all right. So Swanee, I'm gonna get you on, and then I'm gonna put Jay on the same time. All right. Give me a second. All right, here we go. What's going on, Jay?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Doing good, man.
What's going on?
Oh, we just out here, just seeing the destruction of America, man. Want you to chime in on the destruction of America?
That's the question. The destruction of America.
No, we have a few things. Let me see here. I'll go back. I usually don't do this, but you're a sharp dude, Jay. Jay, do you have a headset or anything? No.
No,
Okay.
I don't.
I'll be trying to work with you. Give me a second here because we hear a little background noise. Okay, so this is one of the topics we're going to talk about: Afghanistan, the takeover. Which president is at fault for the Taliban takeover, if any? Also, we're talking about the Squad, which is a lot of the progressive movement. There's like 4 girls, and they're talking about canceling rent and mortgages payments. That's what they're working on. I want to see what your thoughts on that, if you want to talk about that. And also, we was talking about the COVID passport. Is that racist? Because most Black people and Mexicans it took that shot at a lower rate. You feel you got the floor. Anything you want to talk about?
When it comes to that vaccine and the passport, the reason I would say that Blacks at least is at a lower rate because we don't have the resources, and that's one thing we're really trying to get across to America is that we're trying to get the resources to be available to even get a COVID shot. The COVID shot, it wasn't even in rural communities until April of this year, when other communities such as like Beverly Hills probably already had it last year.
Okay.
So it's like, and when it comes to the Taliban, I believe those guys are innocent. I believe we're harassing them, bullying them. We're doing all in our power to make it uncomfortable for them to even be regular human beings. I don't know what we actually have over there that we want, but apparently we on their territory. We're being annoying. Like we're being destructive. Like they're running. Like they're trying to avoid from getting killed. That's like, why are we even trying to perpetrate this kind of image and giving these young men who commit a crime in these Black communities life? If this is what they see on television, because a lot of these street kids are stupid. These is intelligent dudes. You don't know what they may pay attention to.
Okay, so you said Taliban, the ones who taking women and children is innocent people?
Or are they really taking children?
According to the Afghanistans that come over to America and they're jumping off planes trying to get here.
Well, hey, I ain't see it, so I'm blind to it. I ain't got no
right.
That's what they say they do. That's what they do.
I agree with you in parts of I don't think we should have been in their issue. You know what I'm saying? Like if you see a neighbor over there fighting and they're married, you stay out of that. You know what I'm saying? But I agree with you. What you think about Swanee? What you got to say about that?
About what? Just the Taliban and Afghanistan?
His comments. Yeah.
Well, let me start with the vaccine passport. I want to piggyback off what Keith said. Keith said some interesting pieces. I may have a different perspective on that. Now, is the vaccine passport racist? It can be viewed as racist, but it's definitely discriminatory, for sure.
Absolutely.
This is America, right? the land of the free, right? So when you think of those things, and you're telling people, listen, you have to have a vaccine passport to eat in an American city, state, local, restaurant, whatever it may be, who all pay taxes. Now, I still pay taxes, right, to this country. To make that establishment, when they go get a loan, the tax money that they use is from my tax money, right, to get that loan or that grant. It comes from us. Now, to tell somebody they can't go to a restaurant or establishment unless they're vaccinated, that's a whole nother thing. Forcing vaccination on people is another thing. What is this? Is this a communist country? Is it a true democracy here? So you got to think of that perspective as well. You can't force somebody to take anything. Everybody has different beliefs, whether it be religious beliefs, political beliefs, or a medical situation, that they cannot take a vaccine at all, or don't want to take a vaccine because just personal reasons. Not everybody should have that right to do it or not. Vaccines, I'm not saying I'm anti-vax, but you come up with a vaccine in less than 10 months and you're poking everybody's arm. And now they have a vaccine booster shot right now that you take after 6 months. Okay. After whoever got 2 shots, you got to take a booster shot now. Now, what they're not telling people is the fact that the people who are already vaccinated are the ones who are spreading the Delta variant virus. Viruses develop, okay? And the mainstream media is not telling people. The people who already got COVID shots are the ones who are spreading it. Now, Keith said that there are more people who are unvaccinated that are dying. Some of that is true. It's not completely true. There's a lot more people who have COVID shots that are dying left and right, but they don't want to tell you that. Okay, that's the other piece of it. So when it comes to our freedoms and our liberties in this country, that's discriminatory to tell somebody, oh, no, you can't come in here. I know you pay taxes. I know you live in the United States. I know you have a social security number, but you can't come to my establishment. That's discriminatory. And that's just the opposite of what America is trying to push all over the world. They want to go set up democracies in every country around this world. It doesn't make any sense.
He's killing it. Pay attention. He's killing this right now. He's killing it, man. Look, man. How is it that? And I want to get your opinion on this, Jay, as well. How is it that? Did you see that picture? And if you haven't, I'm going to pull it up. The picture of all those Afghanistan people that was on the plane, none of them had a mask. You got people coming from the border of Texas. They don't have to be checked. Now, I know I know quite a few people who came from, they were what you call immigrants in the 70s. And in the 70s, this is what they did. You had to have a sponsor, okay? So it had to be somebody in America that had a sponsor. Then they would, if you were the sponsor, Jay or Swanee, they would look at your bank account because they wanted you to take care of this person for 5 years. Every month or two, they have to know your whereabouts. You have to ask yourself, why is it that they're letting all these people in here, into America? They don't have to get checked. They don't have to do no COVID tests or anything like that. But they're pushing us away, right? We have to do all these things, like Swanee was saying. Like we pay taxes. Like this is our right. Like the government. See the way the rules of the government are supposed to be with our republic is the fact that they're supposed to work for us. That's how it works. We're giving them power. They're not giving it back. Because they're scaring us because they have control of the media. But I'm going to show this picture if y'all haven't saw it. Give me 1 second. I'm going to try to pull it up. 1 moment. But yeah, I'm going to show this picture. Like no one had a mask. No one cared about it. Hold on. Give me a second. But go ahead, Jay, and see what I want to see what your response is on it. On what Swanee was saying.
I wanted to see the photo that you was talking about. I'm really hyped up about it. But
Okay. All right, give me a second here.
I ain't got no comment to what Swanee was saying. I really agree with what he was where he was going at his point of view.
Okay, so here's the picture of the infamous flight that people were hanging off of the Afghanistan people, and they were dying on this flight. All right, let me pull it up real quick. People just falling off this flight, man. It's just like, all right, here we go, right here. Let me know if y'all can see it. I'm make it bigger.
What the?
This is the Marine the flight that was going out of Afghanistan, and they had all these people on here with no mask on. I'm gonna try to zoom in up, see if I get a better.
Just looking at that's making me claustrophobic.
I can't get it any bigger, but yeah, look at that. This is
wow.
These people are trying to get here and take care of, but they won't take care of African Americans and the homeless. We have a big homeless problem right now, but they're going to house these people. There's a motive for this.
Yes, it is. And their numbers are decreasing.
Yeah, and say that again, Swanee.
Their numbers are decreasing.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to understand that people don't know. That's why the Democrats and liberals in general wanted, they have this big push to bring in, some people call them illegal immigrants, migrants, period, from Mexico, Central America. It don't even matter. Foreign, Nigeria, Afghanistan now. They want to bring these people in. They want to say they're doing something good for them so they can outpopulate us,
yep.
Right? And so what that does is take away our voting power if we vote. If those who vote, who believe in voting, it don't matter. They take away our voting power, our strength. They take away the conversation of reparations. They take away the conversation of our history that's being untold right now. They want to put this critical race theory name on top of that. They want to get rid of us bad. Okay, it's not going to happen. They believe it is, but we ain't going nowhere. We're too resilient. We're too strong, and the problem is a lot of our people are giving in to what the mainstream media is talking about and what they're pushing. It's all falsehood, and it's like I said earlier, man. This is a big movie. We have to wake up, okay, and start eating our popcorn. You know what I mean? And realize that this is a movie, and we got to take this, like a grain of salt. You know what I mean? And just be aware of what's going on.
Facts. And then what I want to say is to piggyback on what Swanee was saying, they're starting to see that their numbers of African Americans are dwindling when it comes to voting. That's why they shot down Ice Cube when Ice Cube stood up and basically said, look, man, if you're not going to give us something, we're not going to vote for you. You know what I mean? And that's what they've been doing since 1964. Because like I said about the one report in 1964, they were trying to strengthen the black man and basically giving us resources instead of the women, because we know that's the real trickle-down effect. You take care of the black man man's going to take care of the black woman woman's going to take care of the kids as well. That is the real trickle-down effect. And they knew if they empowered African American men that this stuff would have been happening, right? But they didn't. They went to the woman and made the black man and the black woman fight, or whatever family, because a lot of families are fighting, because there's a lot of white men and women fighting as well. Like I went to, if you go to the courthouse tomorrow, is they're all fighting. Like they wanted this. Like they said, a house divided will fall. And this was 1964. And we see the effects of it. So Swanee is right on the money. And then it's funny that they decided in 1964 with LBJ, they decided to put in place a welfare system, a welfare state, because they know, and this is what allegedly what LBJ said. He said, we'll get them N-words to vote for us for the next 400 years. What is going on now? Anytime the government give you something, people and they'll tell you if because they're your daddy now. They say, look, I'll give you this amount, but if you make a penny over, you ain't getting these resources. You see what I'm saying? So now you get these people second guessing themselves. So they won't bet on themselves anymore. So like I know a lot of people who work for the state and um they served in the armed forces or what have you, but they're down there like faking injuries allegedly to get these benefits. You know what I'm saying? Because there's like they're not betting on themselves. We become a lazy country. We're just letting this happen. And I know I'm rambling, but Swanee is absolutely right about what he's saying tonight. Go ahead, Jay. I want to see what you think about anything, or do you have anything to say?
No, I really don't got nothing to say because I was still listening to you.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to say my name.
Yeah, I mean, yes, Swanee, man. I mean, like Swanee's on it today, man. I don't be agreeing with you all the time, but tonight, 100%, bro, 100%.
Let me give you just a couple more facts, or maybe one more fact, maybe, or two things I want to say real quick. There's somebody that's close to me in prison right now. They've been in prison for over 20 years now. Okay, non-violent offenses, right? Because of crime, bail Joe. But that's another story. But anyhow, they told me that they were giving people the option to get vaccinated. Okay. And they were saying, if you get vaccinated, we'll give you a gift card. Now they never gave inmates nothing for free. Okay. Let alone a $25 gift card, to call the peeps. You know what I mean? So when I heard that, I'm like, man, something is up with this, man. They just don't give things away like this. You know what I mean? Something is up with this. But I just wanted to make that point. And oh yeah, I wanted to say one thing about the rent. Back to the rent thing. Instead of giving people free rent, how about pay off we got child support is huge. How about pay off all their rear child supports that good fathers out there that got to pay each and every month? Pay that off, man.
My hands hurt for clapping for you, man.
There's a lot of good fathers out here, man. They need to pay that child support for them, man, for real.
And it's not even about paying. It's about they could go to computer and wipe it out just like that. They just put zero on it. It's a computer, man. So yeah, I totally agree with you, man. On that, man. Woo wee. What you got to say,
There's going to be someone
Will?
They're not paying. They did be to so want, but here let's look at some of the facts here, okay? Throughout this whole ordeal, through stimulus checks, through tax rebates, through child tax credits and things like that, the non-custodial parent, which is usually the dad, has gotten none of that.
Mm-hmm.
None of that. Not every single one of them, but in most situations, if you got any type of arrears, they touching that stimulus. If you got any type of anything, if you're not the custodial parent, you can't even claim the kids on your tax return regularly.
Right.
Right. So all of the benefits end up swinging one way, and that's why it's really important, guys. Like, and I think we should end up, touching that subject in a little bit. Really, we gotta consider who we're, putting it down with, because at the end of the day, the system is built against us. It's built against us, and if it were a brick, the bricks is just falling on us and stuff, but it's against us.
I respect that, man, but we're going a little bit left. Yeah, like you said, we'll talk about that another day. Definitely, you're an expert at that child support system. So Jay was saying that we should have stayed. I don't know if you heard, but he said we should have stayed out of there, and the Taliban was innocent. And he was saying I agree with one part of it. I was like, we shouldn't have been in there in the first place. But again, there's always incentives. There's always incentives. Like there's a lot of resources. They're making money. Like when we go back to slavery, like a lot of people, including black people, like I was telling you, it was an incentives to have slaves. You know what I'm saying? So if it was helping the economy out, they're not going to stop it. They don't care about humanity like that, right? So we see this in Afghanistan playing out as well. Um, and I'm not going to call out a religion or what have you, but there are people being mistreated there. And again, like Jay said, it's none of our business. What do you think about that, Will?
You know what? Here's the thing about that. Okay, when we talk about it being they're innocent, I guess to some degree, I can agree only in the sense that they are innocent according to what they believe. They're literally following what they believe. Now, do I believe that they're innocent in the big picture? No, I definitely don't. But they're not just like all of a sudden like wake up and say we want to kill some people or rape some women and children, or we want to impose it. Like they're literally doing exactly what it says in their law. So whenever we go and get
Sierra law, is it? Was it Sierra law? What is it?
law, yep.
Okay, go ahead.
And if there's anyone that wants to contest that, I mean, I can shut. It's not something, and it's so funny because the people that are over here, a lot of usually it's the people who run left. They're not calling this stuff out, especially the feminists. They're not calling this stuff out. LGBT, for the most part, while they're not calling it out, and they're over here. And they can,
right.
Especially not calling it out over there. LGBT, everyone has a hit, and you'll be beheaded. But either way, it's a big hypocrisy. And
right.
yes, to some degree, maybe we should just leave them alone and just let them be, and whoever wants to get out of there, as long as they follow the process. The challenge, though, is that if they do, get into power, what do you do when they start growing? And because they had an empire before,
and that's true. So you are correct about that, Will. We have to watch people who we have to be the most powerful nation. This is why we get to run free, because we people are scared of our leaders. We can't, like, people think like we just like, oh, society, they're not going to bother you. No. There's people want to take over this country. You understand? Oh, Jay, you got something to say? I thought you.
No, I was listening to you.
Oh, okay. People want to take over this country, man. So yeah, America's not the greatest, obviously. Well, I believe it's the greatest country we have, but it's not perfect. What I'm saying, and you have to be the power. You have to be the biggest power, because people want to take you over, man. If you look at the empires in the country, like I know we have a lot of people come on and they'll say Africa wasn't messing with anybody. That's a lie, because for I think it was like 1200 for 400 years, Africans was enslaving people in other countries. Once we had they know that you can get on a boat and go somewhere else. They were people don't want to talk about this, but they enslaved 1 million Europeans. Like they was enslaving them. Like pirates was black people. You understand what I'm saying? Like they was no joke. So that's what I'm saying. Like you want to have a powerful military. And the on the flip side of it, we could say we lost to because Europeans, they had gunpowder first or whatever, but we should have been. I mean, for the best of our abilities, we would say we need to protect our women and children. That's what we talk about now, right? And that's why I say with Afghanistan, I'm like, those guys should have been protecting their women and children, because the Taliban, which they call them extremists, but Will knows a lot about. He knows he studies that type of stuff, but they don't respect women at all. I'm not saying that's our fight. They don't respect women. They allegedly raped their women. They're doing molestation. And those women are crying out. We could play videos right now if we wasn't going to get flagged for it, but the women in Afghanistan is telling what's going on there. You know what I mean? They're crying out because they're being raped, they're being mistreated unfairly, and the men, they're basically they have to join them or die. That's why they was on that plane when America was taking off because they scared. But go ahead. Anybody want to say something?
Well, the soldier that was speaking in one of the videos, he had mentioned that that he wants to take the opioid out and replace it with some wheat, watermelon, and other stuff like that. Right now, they're going to take the opioid out. What are they going to do with it? Right. And I always think about, what do America have their business in Iraq and all these other countries around the world, even down in South America, Venezuela? Why do they have so much influence on trying to make these areas a democracy? Now, Venezuela, if nobody don't know, it might be the first or second biggest export of sugar, I believe, and oil as well. So America was there. America was in Iraq for the oil. Okay. They're best friends with Saudi Arabians, right? They're best friends with Saudi Arabia. Keep that in mind. And they allegedly are the ones who attacked America. And now Afghanistan, what do they have there? They must be there for a particular reason. And we have to understand, where are they going to use whatever's there? What are they going to use it for? Now you got to think about it. The European colonizers, back before slavery even happened, what they did was some of the people, they gave them guns, weapons, resources, food, all kind of stuff to help kidnap some of their own people to go on slave ships so they can bring us over here, right, into this country. So what's going on now? They're giving them guns, resources, and everything else. They did it in Iraq. They did it in Afghanistan. They did it in Venezuela. They did it in Central America. They did it in all these other locations. And we have to really think about, what's going to come out of that. Okay, because we got to understand that in America, Black folks, African Americans, are at the bottom. Now we may have 2 or 3, 1,000 people that are rich and maybe wealthy, maybe 1 or 2% of that is wealthy, but the rest of us, we out here, and that's why I think now is the time for us as Black men and Black women to put our resources together. If we know farmers, we need to hook up with them because if they bring Afghan people over here and set up shop in some of our neighborhoods, just like the Chinese or the Pakistani people or the Indian people, they come in our neighborhoods and set up stores. Nothing against none of them, but they come in our neighborhoods, set up stores, and don't put nothing back into the community. So what is the purpose of Afghans coming over to America? $500 million. We got homelessness right here in the country. Doesn't make any sense.
Well, it makes a lot of sense because it's a trade-off, man. This is like trade. You know what I mean? Like if you're saying sugar, yeah, we want the sugar. we want the resources, and we have the most powerful army, military in the country. So people is willing for us to come over there because they want protection. Because if we don't go over there, somebody's going to take over. Like if you look at the history of existence, there's always somebody coming in there with their empire to take something over. China's doing it right now. China's taking, China's taking over the Caribbean. Yeah, the Africa, Caribbean. They're taking over America. This is all about the takeover. There's only thing that's going on in America is evil and good. And there's not a lot of good. That's what it is. It doesn't matter if you're Black, white, Asian. It doesn't matter. Like if you're weak, we know in our hoods, in any hood, in any Ivy League school, if you're weak, they take advantage of you. That's what it is. It's good and evil. This is what it is. And you're right. America is wrong for a lot of things they do. But I'm happy that they're on top. You see what I'm saying?
Not for long.
And what you're saying, Swanee, is the truth. But I'll tell you this: black people, African Americans, is not going to be on some tribal stuff. They're not. Not in our lifetime. Not in any other lifetime. Hopefully, they will get it in the future. But you look at the millennials; they're not tribal. You see what I'm saying? Like we spend so much money. It's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, and I'm gonna say this, and you know, y'all probably know more of the Bible than I do, but I know this: Moses got in trouble with God because he cared about these people more than he cared about the mission. Those people, the Israelites, was sinning against God, and Moses kept on begging him, please give him mercy, and then he couldn't take it anymore. He went up there and prayed, and they partying, worshiping other gods. He come down there and break the commandment, the scroll or whatever he had, right? Yeah, God didn't like that, right? And then they were still sinning against him and complaining, and they were like, can we get some water? Can we get this, that? And then he struck the rock, right? God didn't like that. He had them wondering. What do you think is going on right now? Like, I know so many people who are trying to help their people, and they're just not getting it. So then you fall. Then now you falling. You going away from it because you may have a survivor's guilt. Everybody can't go with you. People ain't gonna like what I got to say, but everybody can't go. It's as simple as that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's sad to say. It's the truth though. Like I said, like there's people in Pittsburgh that's African Americans that's doing the darn thing, making money. You know what I'm saying? This is choices. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody, and I'm not just going to just crap on African Americans. It's people. People's going to be people. Like how the heck did Europeans have a head start on us, and Africans passed them up with the economics? If you Google it right now, I think Europeans is averaging as a household $52,000 a year. If you look at a Nigerian who come over here because they see what's going on, because they live in corrupt countries. My in-laws are they're from Jamaica, and they was over there with the corrupt system. They had the queen in 1962. Then they got their independence, and then they did socialism over there. Like people don't know this. Like go out the country and see what's going on. Like if you go to Africa or Jamaica, you go to a store, they'll just raise the price on you because they hear your American accent. If you weigh more than, if you're not skinny, they think you're rich, so they're gonna try to get you. I'm telling you, I've been over to Jamaica many a times. It's what it is, man. And so we have an opportunity, but we don't see it because we so pushed on this critical race theory. And those people who's really blocked us is dead now. America is for sale, bruh. I had a friend that Swanee knows, and he came to my house a couple months ago, maybe a month or two ago, that he was on our show. African guy from Congo. And he looked at my house like, dang, this is beautiful. Like, yes, I'm thankful for God, but I'm trying to tell people America is for sale. Stop thinking about slavery, bruh. Like, they're trying to give this property away, bruh. I'm telling you, man. They're trying to give you money. Like, I could go on forever. We're gonna wrap up in like a minute or two.
Well, real quick, just think of the choices that are given to the black community. What's pushed on us the most? Okay, one of them that's pushed was women. Y'all can go and do your own thing, have a hot girl summer, and things like so. That's not helping us as a black community. It might bring babies, but it's bringing fatherless babies. Two, besides being pushed that, hey, you guys can't do much, or you need to just stick on this welfare. Let us help you out. We got you. Don't worry about leaving us. Don't worry about getting a job or whatever. It creates dependency, right?
Mm-hmm.
Free, and the people doing their bedroom. That's okay. But let's look at science. You can't reproduce if you have two people who are the same sex. You just can't. It's impossible.
That's self-genocide.
Right. So 4. I don't even know what number we on, but whatever number on, we, we have this portrayal and glorification of violence and the gangster lifestyle that's being put out, whether it's in movies, whether it's in some of the music that's going on. That's holding us back. 5, the drugs, whether you're on the seller side or you're on the user side. And the thing about that though is this, all right? When you end up finding yourself hooked on using those drugs or selling those drugs, there's always something that ends up coming with it. It always ends up linking towards the other stuff. It ends up linking to violence, shortage of money, because everybody can get ahead, right? So these are the things that are being presented to our communities, and those are the things that are keeping us from growing. A lot of people were happy about that statistic, specifically the squad. They were celebrating that the white decline, right? But does that mean that there's a huge black inclination, acceleration? The only thing that could happen is if we're intermingling with other races. But I just don't see it as far as the numbers. I think that the white decline has to do with, yes, they do have a low birth rate, but a lot of the immigrants coming in, that's probably what it really is.
Okay. Good stuff. All right. Well, Jimmy, I see you in there. I'm gonna give you the last comments. Jay, I'm gonna give you last comments what you want to say, and then Swanee, then I'll go to Jimmy.
You said me right now?
Uh-huh.
I wanted to piggyback off of what you were saying about if we did make peace with the Taliban and if they did gather an army together to, let's say, attack us, like on a blindside type of attack. I really can't see how that would happen, but if we had the right person to be a spokesman and a delegate for people who can speak to a Taliban and that proper understanding, there wouldn't be no war, because just like whites have the power in the United States, and in a lot of cases is the same way those Taliban are, and most of them are Muslims, if I'm not mistaken, correct? And I actually read this one book. It's called Noah's Curse, and it speaks about how Muslims are the first slavery owners. And then we come to the United States, we notice that whites are that as well, and they're bumping heads with the same type of party, and they're just creating conflict. There just need to be someone in between.
But here's the one of the conflicts that happened, and you're right what you're saying. But the British is the one that stopped it. The British, because like I said, it was just in the way of life since the beginning of time. Before boats was pushed, Asians was enslaving Asians. Europeans were slaving Europeans. Africans were slaving Africans. And the British stopped it. They sat there, put their boats on the Atlantic Ocean, and anybody who would come from Africa or whoever, they would basically kill them if they were still pushing slaves. And Africans, the Arabs, and this is written, they would crack the African baby on the head if they were crying, because they knew they was gonna get hung. And what they did was they went towards the Atlantic or the Red Sea, because the British couldn't put their boats over there because it was so shallow water. And so they were still selling it because it was their economy. And as of right now, do you remember when Obama was in office and everybody's wearing T-shirts, "Free those girls"? Because they took those girls because it's their economy. Yes. They're making money. They still castrate men. And I'm not just pushing Taliban. I'm just saying, like, overseas, like they don't have it like we do. Like where maybe we could say we go over countries and we take over and we make our money that way. You know, that's definitely possible. But what I'm saying is, just like they have, they sell heroin over there. That's their economy. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's how they make money. So they're not going to stop it. They're going to fight you because this is how we make our money. We don't have any, they don't have any other way to make money. I'm assuming, but that's what I'm saying. Like, but I mean, yeah, I don't think the Taliban is strong enough to. We could wipe them out with just flying a plane over there and dropping bombs. You know what I mean? So I don't think they're like a super threat, except for we let them in here. You know what I'm saying? Like we let them in here, and the Eastern way of life don't like the way the Western are living. Like we're too comfortable with allowing, the transgender and the gays. They don't believe in that. You know what I mean? And then but here's the thing: what you're saying, Jay. We went over to Afghanistan and tried to force them on our way of life. Do you remember Obama was talking about we want to try to help them do get a democracy? Yes. We was pushing this stuff on them, and they're like, hold on. This is why they don't mess with us, because we're trying to push our ideas on them.
Mm-hmm. And that's their religious beliefs.
Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, I just don't think they would be big enough to do it. But what I will say is the British had the biggest army, and they did a lot of wrong. They destroyed this country as far as we say colonialism or whatever. But they had the biggest army to stop slavery, because if they didn't do it, we still would be slaves.
And I also wanted to say something also about that the free rent. I don't know if I disagree. I don't disagree, because if it's for emergency use, allow it to be accessible. If that's a word. But if it can help someone, allow it to help, as long as the landlords can file for like a PPP loan, because I know landlords at this moment, they can't file for that kind of funding unless they can make some type of arrangement around that. But I also think remember there was a Democrat guy that ran in this past election for president. The Chinese guy, he was talking about like universal basic income, and I believe free rent was in it. And I'm cool with that if you can make it's called universal basic income or something like that, and it's for everyone to be able to survive on. And in California, they're already allowing it to be eligible. They just haven't given it to black. They just been denying them.
Can't hear you. You sound kind of far away.
Okay, how about sound the same?
Sound a little better.
Okay, Jay, have you ever been to California?
Actually, I haven't been.
Okay. In California, the rent in 2006.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you, Will. I'm having a hard time hearing you.
What's going on? 1 second. Let me try to. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, there we
go. Loud and clear.
Okay, but what I was saying is that in California, the rent is so high, and that's why a lot of people are homeless right now. And the challenge with that, because there have been arguments for and against the UBI that they were talking about. One argument is that it can replace an income tax. The other is that it's going to end up causing things to end up costing more. The other thing that there is a UBI right now. A lot of people are getting unemployment. So if you want to look at that, then what are they doing with it now? They weren't getting $1,000 a month. They were getting $3,600 a month last year. So what were they doing with it?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about when it comes to that little stimmy checks, because I got them all last year. I started a business. I'm gonna live like right for the rest of my life.
Okay,
Nice.
that's what's up. And
Like,
we going, yeah, definitely, push them icy cups and be able to help teach financial literacy. That's huge.
yes.
What's everyone else doing? This was 3,600 a month going on all last year. 3,600.
Yeah. I don't know. People that they buy Birkin bags. That's
Right.
what they was.
Facts.
They went on vacation. Hey man, I was seeing females look better than ever.
Mhm.
It was Instagram outside.
So
Mhm.
what would make you think that $1,000 a month, if we name it something else, universal basic income, what would make you think that they're going to do anything different?
You gotta create some type of standards, like for you to be able to have like basic income. It's gonna have to go towards like healthcare, like paying for something like that. Paying towards like education should be free. Healthcare should be free. Um, if you follow on the right protocols to help you gain that kind of like wealth, yeah, you should be credited. If we trying to be, I don't know how to word that. Yes, I would go with universal. I believe people would do different if you put some type of protocols on it. If you put some type of standards, some type of corrections. I ain't gonna say they ain't gonna stop buying Birkin bags and Bentleys, but their behavior may change a little bit because they're gonna be up class citizens. At least they're gonna feel like it, but it's also probably gonna create an inflation in America.
Mhm. Yeah.
Happening right now.
Absolutely. All right.
That's the only thing I can say.
Okay, I just wanted your point of view. Yeah, we appreciate it. Appreciate you coming on, Jay.
Yes, sir.
Always welcome. All right, have a good night.
All right,
You guys have a
Swanee.
blessed one.
All right, you
All
too,
right.
Jay. Swanee, before you go, man, we're gonna get your last words, man.
Well, man, listen. We talked about a lot in a little bit of time, and it was always good conversation, good conversation pieces. But we need to understand, yeah, to your point, Laurent, earlier, the British stopped it, I believe, in 1804 or something like that. But they stopped ships from going back. They stopped ships from coming to England. Okay, they were still trafficking, all day long. Okay,
Right.
still coming across to the Caribbean and South America as well. But yeah, to the point was made earlier. The Arabs, the East Indian slave trade, and the Arab slave trade that happened in the 7th century. People don't even know about that. They were trading Africans, okay, in sub-Saharan Africa, and sending them everywhere. And then the Spanish and Portuguese, our people was there too. The Spanish and Portuguese slave trade happened in the late 1400s and early 1500s. They sent slaves from Spain and Portugal down to the Congo region, and then to the Americas. Okay, that's a whole other story right there. And then, of course, the European countries came in, France, the British, and so on and so forth, Denmark, the Dutch. So that came, they piggybacked off of what Spanish and Portuguese did. But I say all that to say this, we have always been a target, okay, for many, many centuries. The European powers really did gain their power back until the Renaissance period. In the 1300s and the 1400s, because you got to understand the Muslims were running everything. The Moors, black Moors, were running things in Europe, okay, for 500 years. They ran all throughout Europe until the Europeans came back in power, of course, and they gained their power back. And through colonialism and religion, which was used to divide the people up, that kind of started a trend. And they divide and conquer from that point forward. But yeah, everything's against us and everybody's against us. So we got to be aware of what's going on right here in our country and the policies and laws that they're passing, because we are not considered a priority in any of it. You know what I mean? And we must understand that. And that's why I'm always big on, positive energy and us uniting as a people again, because prior to the 1960s, man, we was all right.
Yeah.
Okay. We had the family structure. We had the family unit. We had our own neighborhoods. Yes, they burned them down. We rebuilt it right back though. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we had all that going for us, man, until the 1960s, man. And then the whole thing and the push was about voting. What has voting got us? I always say this all the time. What has voting since the 1960s? It pushed us further and further away from each other. Now our generation is trying to bring that back together. It's us. It's not the older generation. It's really us. We have a responsibility, and we must hold ourselves accountable to try to bring that structure right back, because that's what we're doing right now. We need that. It's important because we see what's going on. Our voting strength and power. Just like what Ice Cube said in that big push, they hear us loud and clear. We ain't having that no more. You know what I mean? We need some real leadership from the NAACP, the Congressional Black Caucus, and any other black organization who claim they represent us. They need to get on the ball. Simple and plain, man. And again, I want to appreciate you guys for allowing me to come on your show, man. I love it. TNJ Radio Show. If you're out there, I always say subscribe, share, and like. And man, all content, great conversation, man. I love you, brothers, man, from the heart.
Hold on, man. I don't know what got into you today, but you was on fire. I mean, like, for real. Like, I don't know. Was you studying? Was you reading it this week, man? It just came out, man. I was like, wow, man, that was good, man. I appreciate you.
Study research, man, and just being aware of what's going on. That's all.
Oh, man.
I appreciate y'all.
Oh, appreciate you, man. All right, hold on 1 second. Man, Swanee was killing it, dude.
Man, bring that fire.
Man, that was beyond that, man. He is ready to play today. That was good. I appreciate it. And Jay too, man. I appreciate you getting on, and Keith and Jimmy. Yeah, Jimmy X always come through as well. He was giving us the real. I love the conversation today, man. What you think, man? What you want to close on?
Man, I think that all of this does end up tying together. We got to worry about what's going on in our house. So in the big picture of what's going on with America, we got to take care of our house. And then we look at the house part when we talk about the cancellation of the rent part. We got to take care of our house. And if it's someone else's house, take care of that house like it's your house. Come on, guys. A lot of people, whenever they rent, they're only worried about, am I going to get that security deposit back? How about worry about, just take care of the place just because you've been blessed to live there. Because who knows, you might need a referral whenever you go to get a mortgage or whatever. You might not have all the credit or whatever, but they might look at, all right, well, your rent, we need some rent receipts. So you might get some, some good rent receipts. So all I'm saying, all this ties together. Take care of home. Quit messing around. That's all I gotta say. You talking like Charlie? You muted. That's what it is.
Yeah, go ahead. Real quickly, I want to give a shout out to your page, man. We got to promote your page. Want to promote it real quick?
Oh yeah, well, just a couple things on there, man. Got some good stuff coming up in regards to like financial literacy. If you're looking to get your credit score up, go to William A. Thomas. William A. Thomas, just like you see on the screen. I've personally taken my credit from fours down under the floor up to the high sevens. So it's something that's available it's free. I mean, it's free. There's companies charging $100 a month for this information, and I'm just giving it for free. So definitely go on to there. And a quick announcement: this Friday we're going to be premiering, one of our interviews. We got Emmanuel Deonda, formerly with Crave and Pretty Ricky. A lot of you probably been seeing the clips. There have been some powerful clips. If you haven't seen those clips, go on to TNJ Radio. And go and check those clips of those interviews. We got a couple other interviews coming up. And here's the thing: some people don't want to wait 2 weeks, getting clip after clip, little bit after little bit. Some people are like, "Give me the whole thing right now," and we understand that. So what we can actually do is, as far as if you're a part of our community, you can actually join by way of Patreon. It's on the scroll right now. Patreon.com/TNJ Radio. And you can actually go on there and get access to the full interview ahead of time. That way you don't have to wait. You get the benefit of Netflix, but without the Netflix.
That's right. That's right. Definitely, man. I hate commercials and different things like that. So that is a plus to get on that. I watched the interview, man. I got a chance to get a sneak peek, and it was dope. That dude was dope. His whole experience, man. You don't want to miss what he was saying. The behind the scenes of Pretty Ricky and Crave, man. And he's Pittsburgh born, and he's definitely respected. It was funny, man, because I sent that video to a few people, to a couple clips, and they was like, "Yo, that's my man." So shout out to that dude, man. He put some work in.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and I didn't say how much. Someone was just saying in the comments, how much is it to join the community? It's about $1.25 a week. $1.25 a week, $5 a month. That's it. Less than price of a cup of coffee at Starbucks. You can actually be a part of a movement. Because here's the thing right now. A lot of people say that we want to build something. A lot of people say that, we need to uplift the community, okay? But what we're doing is right now, we're providing a service to the community right now. We're putting people, out there who some of them already had exposure, but some of them may not have. So it's up to you guys. You don't have to be a part of the community to be able to, for us to be able to do what we do. But if you want to be able to benefit and be a part of what we do, then you want to be a part of the community.
That's right. That's right. So right now, this is our portion where we promote businesses on our banner. So if you have a business, definitely email us, get to us, and we'll promote your business, and we'll talk to you about it. But this is the other business we want to promote today. Again, you want to talk about that, Will?
Yes, Steps of Faith Tutoring and Enrichment Services LLC. You can actually get some help for your child. Now, we know that 2020 has been rough. A lot of people, their kids didn't even get to really go to school. They did homeschooling, but what is homeschooling? If you're not making the kids do it, then they might not do it. And if you got to, you might not be able to make them do it. So go to Steps of Faith. They'll be able to help you and your child with getting caught up. And the rates are, bottom. I would get started with them before they actually, start expanding. Because what's going to happen is they can't service everyone. So eventually they may have to raise rates. Who knows? But they actually offer in-person services. They offer online tutoring. And, the online tutoring, they also offer one-on-one. So if you want to be able to have one-on-one tutoring with your child, then definitely get with Steps of Faith Tutoring and Enrichment Services LLC. You can find them on Facebook.
And it's definitely necessary right now because definitely they're thinking about shutting down and doing all these things, and a lot of the students didn't get that chance to have that one-on-one last year, and I hear great things about this company. Also, real quickly, wanted to give a shout out to Saranda Simone on YouTube, where you get beauty, product reviews, and motherhood tips, Christian lifestyle, and use it. Most of our audience is pretty much 90% men, but each man got a woman, man, and you want to look good. So definitely send them that link, and you can check that out. Also, real quickly, if you want your financial needs met, we got our guy WJRAA.cc. So check him out. If a lot of people making money, you want to know what to do with it. That's the problem we have with people. Like, we can make money, but we don't know how to make money work for us. So definitely hit that link as well. And what we're going to do in the future, before we come on, we're probably going to just like I said, email us. We'll put your banner on before we jump on. We'll put your banner on up there because we're in promoting businesses as well. And last but not least, Josie Sports Nation. If you want to get the dumb stuff and all that good stuff, sports analysis, check out Josie Sports Nation. I'm actually probably gonna go live today. Excuse me, might as well say today, but tonight. And it's lit, man. If you want to argue, man, because I'm the number one hater on there. So if you want to argue with me, definitely hit that up. All right.
And just real quick, because I know you'd be bragging, that is the most lit place in all of sports media.
That's right.
All of sports media. Get on the Josie Sports Nation. Definitely. Right. Don't want to miss it.
And all right, so that's it, man. Really good call, man. We was out there killing it today. Like I said, I gave all my shout outs and what have you, but I'll talk to you, man. You have a good night.
All right. Peace.